Welcome to Fairway Media's coverage of Round 2, Part 1, the Governor's Cup at Gaffney's Grove, aka the Siri. This course is located in Maple Valley, Washington. Great technical course, fun to play. This brought 74 players to the first event. In the booth with me is Matthew Zlatich of Team Hood Chain.
What's going on, guys?
We are excited to get back into the coverage. Round 2, still brought to you by Gripped Disc Golf, All Day Disc Golf. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring the coverage. A new card with Mike Wills, Matt Zlatich, John Wills, Lou Tran, Andrew Savage.
Oh, let's do the jumping picture in there, guys.
I'll just leave them in suspense.
Yeah, just like that.
Too big. Yeah. Certain shots.
This is such a fun group right here.
You know, I was just going to say, can we go back in time and make it a 6 card? This is a great group of people to play with. Starting out on hole 1 this time, lead card action, 5 players.
Mikey throwing his rock right here, if I believe, and just missing the A's to start out.
My guy, what a beautiful backhand turnover shot.
Going with the F1 thumber here.
You know, if it's not broke, you don't fix it. That looks pretty similar.
Too close.
All right. We got John Wills of the Wills brothers. 2 of the nicest guys, man.
I believe he's throwing a Firebird as well, and that
Beautiful.
is parked.
I've had a chance to play with both of them. I played with John a few times.
Lou Tran, this guy's got such a great forehand.
Yeah, Lou is a great competitor. At the time of this filming, he was 998, just knocking on that 1,000 rated door.
And Andrew Savage.
Another really good dude. I've got to play with him quite a few times.
As have I.
Very well-rounded game.
Got Lou here putting for his birdie.
Putting with what I can only imagine is a old Crabtree special.
I believe it was a Crabtree AVR.
He spent a lot of time with Crabtree. They're really good friends, and so I know he's probably got first pickings through some of the older Innova stuff that Crabtree was throwing before his transfer over to Discraft for this season.
Savage starting it out with the birdie.
Great birdie from Savage. Looking to follow suit and repeat from the last round.
Putting with that PA3.
Easy peasy. Looking fresh to death, rep your hood.
I think it finally warmed up a little bit after the first round, so.
Good birdie. Yeah, Maple Valley's a great little town, beautiful place. There's a nice lake just on the other side of where the course is at.
What I didn't know is that there's a taco truck that's in town too.
There you go.
Now I know.
Now you know. Worth the trip. Fairly easy start there.
Hole 2.
Yeah, the graphic appears to be wrong here. We're definitely on hole 2 now.
Mikey, I think, throwing that same rock that he threw on hole 1.
He goes for that hyzer route. It carries a little higher and more to the left than he probably would want, but being a mid-range disc, it should have stayed pretty calm on the ground play.
I'm going driver with the D1 Max. Just hang it out to the right and let it crash down.
That looks 2 for 2. Great shot. Really taking advantage of that wide hyzer line, using the glide of a D1 Max.
Not sure what John's throwing here. It looks to be like a putter, maybe a mid-range.
If I had to guess, it's probably a mid-range, and I don't know. I know he does throw some like M2s and some other stuff. That may have been a rock, but it looked very much like a mid-range disc.
Savage. I believe he was throwing a rock here as well.
Everybody taking advantage of that nice hyzer line. That had a really great push to it. If it didn't get caught up, that looks like it should be
parked.
Well inside the circle.
We got Lou.
Looks also to be a rock. Some kind of mid-range disc, and I'm pretty sure he leans on the rock for that.
Some branch at the end. Oh, that putt looks so
what a
good
bid.
too.
Great bid. Yeah, Lou has a very well-rounded game, and his putt is something to be feared when you're on the card with him. Got Mike lining up here. Just really good effort. Catches a little low left. Must be a little chillier out there by the road. Lining up. We got John.
Just off the top.
Great bid, though. Stayed high the whole time. It had a chance. It had a chance. Lou looking to clean up after that little bit of an outside right. Gets it in, cleans up his par. Can finally see Matt getting up to his drive now. That's, I believe, even closer than round 1. But if you guys want to check that out for yourself, you're already on the YouTube channel. If you're on round 2 instead of round 1, what are you doing with yourself?
There we go.
Go back and watch that round 1 coverage. Like it, subscribe it, kiss it on the mouth. What? Got a little bit of that Sexton 1-foot balance putt. I do that myself. I like it. Feels good. It makes me feel like a ballerina.
And Andrew with the park job.
Yeah,
Nice.
absolute park job from Savage. I don't know if that's his birth name or just something that we all call him because of how good he is, but either way, I'm going to go by it.
So, going with F1 here, I think the first round I threw an H3, so I'm trying to not throw it as far this time.
And that little bit of a hit to push it down might have kept you closer to the basket. It's hard to see where it lands, but I've seen you throw a thumber once or twice in my life, and knowing this course, I think that's going to be pretty easy conversion for it too, unless something crazy happened down there. It looks like Andrew's lining up more of what most players are going to do and try the forehand. I would assume most players do, although I feel like I don't see Mike throw forehand much.
Mike doesn't throw too many forehands, so he's probably going to throw a backhand.
Probably another rock shot,
Yeah.
and that's another very popular choice, right, for the right-hand backhand player. Throw something that you can just kind of direct straight and let it do the rest of the work. He got through a real sneaky gap, but was not rewarded with much luck past that.
Yeah, it's a little one that's there.
John lining up the forehand, which I think I said. Pretty sure most of these guys were throwing Firebirds on these forehand shots here.
Yeah, that's a fairly popular disc in our region and around the world, honestly, for something of that shape. Now, if that gets to be a Firebird at the end, that kind of stopped it from the ground play I think he was hoping for. But that should still be a pretty good putt. Once you're down that hill...
Still think that's probably right inside the circle.
Yeah, I would assume it's 35 at worst. Oh, man.
Nick, the tree that Andrew hit.
And Lou has probably the best forehand on the card by a little bit. Honestly,
Hands down.
Honestly, he's known for a very well-rounded game, but his forehand is something else. Now the angle on that was impressive.
Oh, it did skip up off the...
That was impressive.
Wow.
What a shot. That's about the only way you're gonna get that kind of angle from where he was to finish like that. So full commit.
Mike, was that a 4?
Throwing his approach, hitting that last tree right by the
That's not too
basket.
bad though. That's kind of a safe play. It looks like he has to straddle maybe a little more than he would want, but I think it looks a little bit more daunting than it is.
Here we go, good cleanup by Lou.
Cleans up the par.
Ended up staying in because you got the out of bounds a
Which
little
is
long.
good. We know about this now. We've learned. Once again, check out round 1 coverage if you haven't yet, so you can see how these players got to where they are. Still putting with what looks to be the core team.
Core team Yulee PA3s.
Starting out strong.
3 for 3, get that turkey. Got some kid running around behind in the skate park.
Sweet little skate park, by the way.
Put the forehand out. Forehand save. That was a left-hand backhand, right?
Pretty much. It was pretty close to it. That's how you can tell that, for one, he's known, and for two, he does not throw a lot of forehands.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
Great birdie by John.
Good 2 from John. Mr. Savage lining up to clean this out real quick.
Nice apart. Great approach from where he was at.
Absolutely. Like I said, the angle on that was very impressive, and it was really the only chance he had to carry all the way through.
Okay, this round I decided I'm going with X1.
That's the play, I think, and I'm going to guess you agree from here on out. That's probably what you're going to be throwing.
Yes.
Again, so you're going to see a better angle this time than you would have from round 1 to give you an idea of how left you have to get off the tee pad, but you really do have to carry hard left, and
John hit the first available tree.
that's something that happens more often than not, honestly. because of what you're trying, how far you're trying to direct things to the left, it causes players to kind of throw high and probably wider out to the right than they would normally want to. That looks like a really good scoop, but
almost made it through the mouth and then hit the last tree before getting out of the mouth.
Not sure what that green disc is, but I've seen him throw it a couple times now. I think that's what he used on the forehand approach.
Oh.
And that's a pretty common mistake. You're going to see a lot of stuff that ends on that left side of the fairway. The other common mistake is to push a little too straight, a little too long. I think you're liking that drive more and more.
Absolutely. There's so many trees on this hole, and you have to push so far to the left, so to be able to...
At 198 feet, you can take a 4 on this hole easier than a lot of the holes on this course, and you can see how much Lou has to work through right now just to have a chance. And if he's lucky, he's going to get up onto the green. And he got crazy lucky.
Through a tomahawk.
That is insane. What a shot. I mean, don't try to land where he did and expect that result.
I
what
forgot
an
about
out.
that.
Oh
That
my
was insane.
goodness. Lou, you're an animal.
Nice up, John.
John just about wanted to finish that up with a throw in himself.
Now this is Andrew's birdie.
Oh, yeah.
He loves
What a
that
bid.
disc. He has such incredible touch with his forehand approaches like that, and I've seen him throw them in many times.
That is not a disc you're going to see on the course very often.
I had one in my bag when I first started.
It's a very common starter disc. Maybe not so much nowadays. When I first started playing, it was definitely a more common starter disc.
Well done.
On fire at this point.
4 for 4.
4 for 4. You've pretty much replicated your entire performance from the last round in 4 holes. You ready to go home?
Not yet.
Okay. I mean, probably advised.
Hey, Dad.
Many more throws to be had.
Good putt.
Good cleanup from an unfortunate cycle of events there. Par from Lou.
Lou just, I
A
can't
little
believe
bit of
that
dance moves
almost.
after that tomahawk.
Well, I guess it's okay, except
He loves it. Hole 5.
I'm going with the X1.
He says, you know what? I like it. Got a gallery.
Oh, the kid from the skate park.
The youngster is fully enthralled. The beauty of flight has brought him in. He says, Dad, can we go get some frisbees?
I want to play now.
I want to play frisbee, Dad. What's this skateboard junk? I'm just kidding. Keep skating for life, kid. Skate or die.
Ooh.
Great approaches. All are hitting real close to that basket. Got Lou lining up. It looks to be maybe a mid-range of some sorts. It looked to be kind of a wider rim disc. Slower approach on the ground. That's going to leave him a fairly easy circle 1 putt. Somebody's very proud of their Honda Civic.
Oh, that tree.
That's an unfortunate, of all the things, I would have assumed John created enough speed, it would have just absolutely blown through that tree. There you go, grow the sport. Get the kids interested. Lining up from what looks like 40, 45.
About 45.
What an effort. What an effort. Mr. Savage lining up. Connecting beautifully. Great birdie.
You got 11 more years at least.
Moving himself a little bit closer to the top of the card there. There's not a whole lot of separation right now. Short of a catastrophe here. I'm just going to keep drawing this out so I don't say anything first. And he hit it, so that's going to definitely keep everybody moving in the right direction. There's only a 4-stroke separation from the bottom of the card to the top of the card currently.
Anything can happen.
Lots of golf left, and as you should have seen on that first round, great putt. Great putt. If you haven't watched the first round, watch it. You can see what can happen out here, both good and bad. But this course has some teeth in the form of trees.
There you go.
You might as well just look up at the hole number and assume that that's how many birdies you have at this point. Is that how you were doing it?
Something of the sort.
They were like, what's your score? You're like, I don't know what hole are we on. That number. I'm at that number.
It's working out that way so far.
Good showing from everybody. Moving up to hole 6. Looks like you got that F1 ready to be thumbs up in the basket. Let's see how it plays out. Some woo hands in the chat. That's gonna hit and sit.
Kick right behind the basket.
Yeah, I was gonna say that looks within 20 at worst. It was hard to see how much forward it carried.
Savage here. I'm trying to remember what he's throwing there. If that's that birdie again or not.
That very much looks like a putter speed disc. It looks pretty wide rimmed in comparison to what you threw. Either way, very, very great shot. Like
just a little long. Probably still inside the circle. Stranger
very
danger.
Smooth, very straight.
I think throwing an AVR.
That's definitely a flippy AVR. You could see the amount of hyzer he had on that release to how flat it got at less than 200 feet. That disc has some understability. It's like lose line at the forehand.
Probably a gator, I believe.
That'll play. It looks like he didn't get much further than yours. Yeah, it looks like he got a nice little cut roll back as opposed to a skip off of that. Looks like what we're assuming is a Firebird again.
Around it.
Not quite enough turnover on it.
One tree. The Guardian.
That's one of the two.
Going with a little forehand flick.
Give it a run.
Ooh! Almost off the log, up and in.
Good shot. Looking to convert to keep pace. Currently one stroke behind you. Great effort. That should be easy cleanup. As you can see, they all collect kind of right at the base.
Savage. Oh,
what a bid.
just
You could tell he had to force that hyzer angle because of the entry of approach, right? And he did it really well. He did it really well. That was a great effort. Lou steps up and capitalizes on that.
Six
Easy
holes.
birdie.
6 birdies.
On fire. Already surpassed round 1 score. 12 holes left in this round. He's heating up.
He's on fire.
You know, if we only had footage of John, people may assume this was filmed over like 6 days because he's had like jacket on, jacket off, unzipped jacket, half zip jacket with a sleeve pulled up. That's great.
Crazy.
My man looking fresh like a GQ model.
Hole 7, 227 feet. Throw either the left or the right side. I'm going left with the thumber.
Looks like he corrected the angle quite a bit this time.
Hit off a tree towards the end. Kind of pushed a little far, I think.
He says, thank you. Looks like Lou's going back to, looks like that gator-ish disc. Definitely has a bit of a rim on it. And that's more the line I was envisioning before, and he still just gets punished by one of the trees at the very end there.
Did we miss some
We must have
drives?
missed a couple of shots there coming up.
All right, Mikey putting for, I believe, for his birdie. Or
Maybe so maybe he'll get to putt twice. This looks like a little video glitch in the Matrix. Either way, he didn't make it. So
Matrix.
moving on to Brother Wills. Good effort right off the top again. Here we have Lou. We can only assume is putting for a birdie at this point.
Just too high.
Great effort. Hit just on the rim.
And I did go long.
Great effort, but that'll cool the streak down a little bit. Gonna be 6 for 7. It's a great way to start, though. It does not matter what course you're at. If you can take 6 for 7, I'm pretty sure you're gonna take it.
Don't think I've ever started a round like that before, so I was pretty happy. Great mini placement.
That's 2 for 2. He might have the best mini putt in the game. Matt gonna clean up the par there. Lou as well. John doing the same. So we missed a couple shots there on hole 7. We're coming right back at it.
Chains.
Hoochie!
Chains.
Hole 8, playing an island.
Andrew's trying to go straight at it.
Yeah, right?
Wow.
Maybe.
What a
Perfect
great
shot.
That's parked.
Pig, there you go. Perfect.
Throwing a pig, okay. Perfect touch approach. Looks like you're going back to that F1 and thumber again.
Yep.
Probably a nice, just slow speed. Shout out Team Hood Chain, great product placement. We're not seeing an OB graphic, so
I can't remember if I don't think I made the island.
I heard you saying that as well. I don't see an OB graphic, so we'll just have to just hope the best for you right now. If that sits down, he has a chance. That looks like it went wide right.
Did it really? Yeah, hit the log and kicked it in.
Yeah, they're just telling you safe up there.
They're giving you safe in the background there, Lou. Take a deep breath. I know you've been waiting. It's 7 months to you can exhale.
Now, I remember Mike throwing this a few times during the round, and I'm trying to remember if this was like a force or something, because he was trying to, I thought, get a skip.
That's a good
Get in there.
Oh, yeah.
What a shot. Great skip shot there. He's definitely keeping the pressure applied. He's definitely keeping the pressure applied. Only a couple strokes behind you. Andrew only one behind him.
His brother's trying to throw
John's
the same
coming
shot.
in strong,
no.
but gets denied there.
It looks like it.
The stare down.
Look at that
Jake
air.
the Snake, dude. Donate some, please.
So I am putting from the drop zone. I missed the island.
So this is going to be for your 3.
Too much. Hit the tree and kick it back.
But good effort on the run. It's going to put a little bit of a opposite swing to the momentum you had, but I know how you play. You're going to come back from that. I've seen it. Great putt for 2.
Johnny!
Way to go, John. Lou
Did
looks
just
like
stayed in.
looks like he has a chance to capitalize here and move up in the right direction. Taking that birdie. Good 2 for Mr. Tran, putting him to 5 under currently. 1 hole left in this part 1 of 2.
Mr. Savage.
Great putt from Andrew. Once again, keeping that pressure applied. It's going to move him to 8. Currently tied with this man. Says, I don't think so, sir. I'm moving 1 up myself.
I like birdies.
Seems to be pretty fun. It's going to put Mike at 9. There with your bogey, that's going to put you to 9. That's going to make things really interesting going into this hole 9, the last hole of this first part of round 2. A 1-stroke separation from our leaders tied at the top.
Yeah, it says 398 on the T sign.
I feel that 400 is pretty accurate.
He's going
Somewhere in that range.
flex.
Yeah, you right back out.
There is a crazy drop off on the left that goes to like a walking path down there that I can only assume is OB with the amount of OB they've added for the tournament. If not, it's just somewhere you really don't want to be. Lou going with that turned over forehand. It just a little turned over much, not quite enough air to execute the flex that I know he was trying to go for. Mike looks like he's going to line up that backhand, probably a flip. Flip something up a little bit. It's hard to get enough straight push on this hole without something that has a little bit of understability.
And you got to worry about that Mando at all times too. So
Which is the other thing that forces you to kind of want to throw something understable on a hyzer to push at the Mando so that it kind of flips up to a better flight. And you can see, looks like that's exactly what John's trying to do there. That may have carried a little hard left. It's hard to see where it finished.
I'm going with the X1 thumber, at least trying to push it to the left and have it skip hopefully and push towards the pin.
You're one of a handful of players on or off tour that could do something like this with a thumber.
Now I understand why I went out of bounds. I threw the wrong X1.
That makes a difference.
My other X1 likes to push more. That one just likes to go straight and to the right.
Nasty, you whore.
Oh yeah, good.
Oh,
Holy. Boop.
got some looks here for 2.
He's feeling it, lining it up.
From outside.
Full effort.
Ooh, that was a full send.
Double the effort necessary, but that's better than half.
Alright, so I'm trying to get this up there, try to make the 3.
There's no drop zone for this hole. You play where it crossed. So that would be, yeah, that would be your par save. Unfortunate change to the momentum that you had earlier in this round, but plenty to be had.
Still another 9 holes to be played. Anything can happen. That looks good. Ooh!
What a run.
Almost 37.
I'll remove that.
Thank you.
He did not remove it. He lied to you. Insert meme here. Hashtag leg day. The turbo putt. You'd love to see it. Get one in there. Let's go!
Buddy, yeah, I remember that.
That's a big turbo.
So huge.
See? That's why you bring the turbo putter. You don't leave home without that thing.
What a great 2.
What a great 2. Absolutely. That's going to be a very big momentum swing. Getting a 2 on this hole, like this is has to be the least birdied hole on the course. Maybe not necessarily by the MPO field, but definitely in the overall scheme of things. But I would assume it's one of the least birdied holes in the MPO field just because things can go wrong on this hole, and it's a fairly tight landing zone to have a clean putt. Unless you just want to slam a turbo in.
Take that bogey and finish out the front 9.
That's going to leave Mike leading the front 9 going into part 2 of round 2. Appreciate you guys and girls watching this at home. Hope you enjoyed the coverage. Shout out again to our sponsors, Gripped and All Day Disc Golf, and of course, Fairway Media. We'll see you on the next one.
Come back for part 2 and see what happens.